In 1977, something happened in Nigeria that had never happened before and has never happened again for a brief moment in history. The entire black world turned its eyes to one place, Lagos, Nigeria. Artists, musicians, writers, dancers from Africa, the Caribbean and the United States all gathered in one country, one festival, one celebration of identity. It was called Festac 77, the second World Black and African Festival of Art and Culture. And for Nigeria, it was more than a festival. It was a statement, a declaration, a moment of pride, power, and global attention. Festac 77 did not start in Nigeria. The idea began years earlier. In 1966, the first World Festival of Black Art was held in Dakar, Senegal. It brought together black artists from around the world, but Nigeria wanted to do something bigger, something louder, something unforgettable. By the 1970s, Nigeria was in the middle of the oil boom. Money was flowing, confidence was high. The country wanted to show the world we are not just rich in oil, but also rich in culture. So Nigeria decided to host the second edition, and not just host it, but make the greatest cultural festival Africa had ever seen. To prepare for Festac, Nigeria didn't just organize an event, it built an entire environment. A new town was developed in Lagos, Festac Town. Thousands of housing units were constructed to host visitors. Roads were built, infrastructure expanded. The National Theatre in Lagos became the centerpiece of the event. A massive structure inspired by a military art, modern, bold, iconic. Nigeria was preparing not just for a festival, but for history. In 1977, they came. Over 50 countries, thousands of participants from Ghana, Brazil, Cuba, Jamaica, United States of America, Senegal, Trinidad and Tobago, and many more. These were not just tourists, they were cultural giants, poets, scholars, dancers, musicians. Think about this. At a time when global travel was not easy, people still came in large numbers. But Festac meant something bigger. It was about identity, about reconnecting Africa with its diaspora, about saying, we are one people. Festac was alive. Everywhere you turned, something was happening. Music filled the air, traditional drumming, highlife, jazz, soul, Afrobeats, dance performances from different cultures, masquerades, theatre productions, art exhibitions. It was a cultural explosion, and Lagos became the stage. One of the most powerful moments was the presence of global black icons. Even Fela Kuti, though controversial with the government, stood as a major cultural force during that era. The city did not sleep. It celebrated, it moved, it felt alive. Festac was not just entertainment, it carried a message, a strong one. At a time when many African countries were newly independent, Festac said, Africa has a voice, Africa has culture, Africa has power. It also connected Africans in the diaspora back to the continent. For many Black Americans and Caribbeans, this was more than a visit. It was a return, a reconnection, and a discovery. But Festac was not perfect. It was expensive, very expensive. Nigeria spent huge amounts of money organizing it. Some critics argued that the money could have been used for development, such as schools, hospitals, infrastructures. Others believed it was worth it. They said, this is not just spending, this is cultural investment. To this day, The debate continues. Was Festac a wise decision or an expensive show? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. After the festival ended, the impact remained. Festac Town still exists today. The National Theatre still stands as a symbol of that era. Nigeria's image on the global stage was elevated. Festac proved that Nigeria could host the world, and not just host it, but lead culturally. It became one of the greatest cultural gatherings in African history. Festac 77 was not just an event, it was a movement, a rare moment when Nigeria stood at the center of a black world, a moment of pride, of unity, of culture, and even today, many still ask, will Nigeria ever do something like that again? Every story like this reminds us that Nigeria is more than history, it is heritage. If you believe these stories deserve to be heard, don't just watch, be a part of it. Comment, like, share, and let's bring the Untold Nigeria to light, one story at a time. This is the Untold Nigeria.